Imagine buying your dream car after years of hard work, a luxury Rolls-Royce shining in your driveway, the reward of every sleepless night and sacrifice. But instead of congratulations, your very own neighborhood HOA president decides it's a crime. One woman, Karen, turns Jack's success into her personal mission of destruction. Fake violation letters, public confrontations, even calling the police with shocking accusations. And in the middle of it all, Jack finds himself in handcuffs. Not for breaking the law, but for daring to park his car at home. How does a simple dream spiral into humiliation, betrayal, and a battle for truth? Stay with me, because this story is about to show how far one person's obsession can go and how justice finds its way back no matter the odds. Jack had worked for years to build his small business from scratch, often staying up late and sacrificing weekends just to keep it alive. Finally, after years of hard work, he rewarded himself with his dream car, a gleaming black Rolls-Royce. The day he drove it into his neighborhood, kids pointed in awe, and friendly neighbors smiled with admiration. But across the street, Karen, the strict HOA president, folded her arms and scowled. To her, Jack's success wasn't something to celebrate. It was something to control. The very next morning, Karen knocked sharply on Jack's door, clipboard tucked under her arm like a weapon. Without a smile, she told him his car did not match the community standards. Jack, confused but calm, explained that it was legally registered, parked in his own driveway, and not against any HOA rule. But Karen didn't want logic. She wanted authority. Her parting words were sharp. "If you don't remove it, you'll regret it." Jack closed the door with a sigh, realizing this was only the beginning. Days turned into weeks, and the situation grew worse. Jack began receiving violation letters almost daily. One claimed his trash cans were too close to the curb, another that his grass was slightly too tall. Even his flowers were criticized for being the wrong color. It became obvious that Karen wasn't enforcing rules. She was inventing them just to pressure him. Jack kept every letter in a folder, quietly building proof, but inside he wondered how far she would go. One evening, Jack pulled into his driveway just as Karen appeared on the sidewalk, her voice raised high enough for half the street to hear. She accused him of bringing illegal luxury vehicles into the neighborhood, insisting he was damaging property values. Neighbors stepped out of their homes, phones recording the scene. Jack didn't yell back. He calmly asked her to show a single rule he had broken. The more polite he stayed, the more unhinged she looked. The crowd's whispers grew, sympathy shifting toward Jack, doubt falling on Karen. But Karen wasn't done. Fueled by embarrassment, she took her anger to the next level, calling the authorities and claiming Jack's Rolls-Royce was stolen. Minutes later, flashing lights filled the street. Officers stepped out, asking Jack to come forward. Shock washed over him as one officer calmly explained they had to place him in temporary handcuffs until the situation was clear. Jack's heart pounded, not from guilt, but from the humiliation of being treated like a criminal on his own front lawn. Karen, standing smugly nearby, thought she had finally won. The officers began running the vehicle's details, and it didn't take long for the truth to surface. The car was legally owned, fully registered, and completely his. Meanwhile, neighbors spoke up one after another. He earned it. Karen's been harassing him for weeks. We've seen it all. Their voices painted a clearer picture than any paperwork could. The officers exchanged looks, realizing Karen had manipulated them. The smug smile slowly vanished from her face as her credibility crumbled in front of the entire neighborhood. Though Jack spent those tense minutes in handcuffs, he was freed as soon as the truth was verified. The officers apologized, but the damage to Karen's reputation was irreversible. For the first time, the HOA president stood speechless, neighbors no longer seeing her as a figure of authority, but as a source of unnecessary chaos. Jack looked at his Rolls-Royce, not with pride in the luxury, but with gratitude for the lesson. To him, it wasn't just a car anymore. It was a symbol of resilience, patience, and the reminder that truth always outlasts lies.